How many triangles will you have to cut to make this block? Believe it or not, the answer is 0. If you use the quick corner method, where only squares and other rectangles are used in this technique. In this video, you'll use quick corners to make these flying geese rooftops. You'll also get tips on how to match these triangle points. Ready to begin? You can download these free directions and patterns at learnhowtoquilt.com under the Quilt Class tab. Each rooftop and sky consists of one large triangle and 2 smaller triangles. This configuration is referred to as a flying geese unit. There are many ways to make this unit. We have a whole series dedicated to flying geese. Today, you'll use the quick corner method for making these units. You'll need to cut 2 5" by 3½ rectangles for the house, 2 2" by 3½ rectangles for the rooftops, and 4 2" squares for the sky. Mark the diagonals on each square. Put right sides together and stitch on the line. Press to the corner. Put right sides together, stitch, and then press to the corner. Here's my completed flying geese unit. You have the option of leaving this excess fabric in, or if you want to get rid of some of the bulk, you can cut it. Lay out your blocks. Put right sides together and stitch a 1/4" seam. If you've been following this series, up to now you haven't had to worry about matching triangle points. This block is different. There are 6 points that will need matching. 4 of the points you'll match later when sewing this to other blocks or sashing. Before matching these 2 points, you'll want to press for ease of construction. You'll press one seam down and one up to avoid bulk at this intersection. Before I go any further, I want to remind you that your accuracy depends not only on your sewing, but also your cutting and pressing. Make sure those seams are pressed in opposite directions. It'll make it much easier when you go to sew these sections together. I've put right sides together. I've lined up this side, this edge, and also I want to work on this edge. When everything's been lined up, I like to pin the ends. I see that when I pull this back, these 2 seams will want to nestle together. Here's the tip of my triangle. I put a pin right through that tip, and I'll take that pin and put it right through the tip of this triangle, making sure that those seams nestle and that my pin is perpendicular to the fabric, and I'll pin that and remove my pin. I'm ready to sew that 1/4" seam. You can also use washable glue for that intersection. Just like before, I want to make sure that all my edges are lined up. I'll pull this back, put a little glue in here on both sides. I can use a pin to match those points or just eyeball it. Let me see if I can eyeball that. Hold that in place until the glue sets. You might want to add pins on either side just in case that glue releases. When sewing, slow down to remove those pins. I like to use a stiletto or other object with a sharp point to hold this in place as I sew. See, I can get right up in there when I'm sewing. Let's see how those points match up. You can see that these tips are right up against each other. I'll take this to my ironing board and press. Add your house block to the other sampler blocks and start thinking about how you want to arrange them. If you enjoyed making this block, you might want to try some variations. Instead of 2 blocks together, just make one. Add 2 strips of fabrics to the sides for a 6-inch block. Make a neighborhood using multiple units, or place them in opposite directions to look like colored pencils. If the thought of matching all these points makes you hesitate, try different methods for cutting out your squares. In this block, I cut the squares a little bit shorter, and then you don't have to worry about matching points. Experiment with different sizes. Try adding a door to add interest. The possibilities are endless. In the next video in this series, you'll learn how to make this block using an easy formula for figuring triangle seam allowances. Thank you for visiting LearnHowToQuilt.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share our videos with your friends.